Very good evening. You're watching India Today 6 Prime. I'm Nabila Jamal, and our top focus here are the two scams that rocked the state of Karnataka, putting Congress netas under fire: the Valmiki board scam and the Muda scam. We're going to take you through those details and break it down for you, what this really means for the state. Let me first begin with the headlines. Mumbai BMW brat sent to 6-day police custody. Sources say Mihir Shah admits that he drove the car while at the time of crash. In a big India Today impact, Shinde Sena finally axes Mihir's father, Rajesh Shah. Prime Minister Modi's historic Austria visit reiterates his not the time for war message in Vienna. Bilateral talks on renewable energy, technology discussed extensively. ED's damning allegations against Arvind Kejriwal claims that Aam Aadmi Party received 100 crores kickbacks, funded Goa campaign with that money that was sent via Hawala. Claims that Kejriwal pointing fingers now at aid, saying he had nothing to do with it. All policies aren't discussed with him. Karnataka rocked by multiple scams. ED raids Congress MLA and ex-minister Nagendra over the Valmiki scam. Siddaramaiah, on the other hand, has been accused of trying to take government land in the Muda scam. Big landmark Supreme Court judgment. Top court says Muslims now can seek maintenance. Women who are divorced can seek maintenance and alimony. Calls it women's right, not charity. Outgoing India coach Rahul Dravid bats for equality, refuses extra bonus for World Cup victory. In a selfless gesture, Rahul Dravid says he only will accept the same amount as given to the support staff. All right, the big alleged scam in the Valmiki board has put the Karnataka government in the spotlight. Enforcement Directorate today conducted raids at multiple locations, all linked to the people within the Valmiki board and, more importantly, the ex-Scheduled Tribe Minister Nagendra. He, of course, has resigned right after allegations surfaced against him. But Nagendra, who is now only a Congress MLA and not a minister any longer, has been accused of trying to swindle money out of that Valmiki board and possibly route it through different channels to personal use. We're looking at the Karnataka government right now in the spotlight, firefighting these allegations. Apart from Nagendra, we also know that Basana Gowda Daddal, who's also currently under scrutiny in the same Valmiki scam. We're looking at revelations of nearly 187 crores that's been pulled off from the scam, from the board itself. And this came to light only after one of the officers or an accountant within the department committed suicide, claiming that he was pressurized enough to transfer those funds. He couldn't tolerate that pressure, eventually claimed his life. We're going to take you through details in this case.
The Enforcement Directorate launched simultaneous raids at multiple locations, including premises linked to former Karnataka Minister B. Nagendra and Congress MLA Basana Gowda Daddal. The raids are part of an investigation into the Valmiki Corporation scam. The ED is probing the alleged illegal transfer of 187 crore rupees from the Karnataka Maharshi Valmiki Scheduled Tribes Development Corporation. The scandal came to light tragically with the suicide of Chandrasekharan P., the corporation's accounts superintendent. In his suicide note, Chandrasekharan mentioned some officials and the word minister. Nagendra had resigned as the Minister for Tribal Welfare and Youth Empowerment after uproar over the suicide. Congress MLA Basana Gowda Daddal is the chairperson of the Valmiki Corporation. The ED raid comes a day after Nagendra and Daddal were questioned by the Special Investigation Team formed by the Siddaramaiah government to probe the scam. The opposition BJP has hit out at the Congress government.
state government is trying to protect its MLAs and ex-ministers. So it's quite natural when the FIR is registered based on the letter given by the Union Bank of India. When CBI has registered an FIR, it's quite natural that, ED has entered the fray.
The Congress claimed the culprits will not be spared.
The investigation is going on. We are very transparent. We don't want to involve in the investigation. Our Honorable Minister has resigned to give a way for a free and fair investigation. I think there is nothing wrong. The investigation will come out as early as possible.
In addition to the ED, the CBI is also investigating the case. The Valmiki Corporation scam is the biggest challenge faced by the Siddaramaiah government since coming to power last year. With Sagai Raj and Anaga Keshav, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let me cut across to Sagai Raj, who's been very closely tracking developments in that case. Sagai, we saw the ED officers right this morning in multiple locations of Karnataka swooping in to raid all locations connected with the ex-minister Nagendra. In fact, another MLA, Baswangowda Dadal, also has been raided. There are premises that were searched, multiple locations that were literally searched in the money laundering case linked to Valmiki scam. Now, we know Karnataka government has already initiated an SIT probe. When did the ED take up this case?
So the FIR was registered by the CBI in the month of June when the Union Bank had escalated the issue and registered a complaint with the CBI about these kind of irregularities and disproportionate amount which was being transferred at that point of time. And immediately after that, CBI had registered a FIR on 3rd of June, 3rd or 6th of June. And subsequently, they continued the investigation. In that particular FIR, if you notice, they have mentioned the names of officials, especially the bank officers who had worked in Union Bank, as well as the Valmiki Board Corporation Managing Director and an accountant officer, as well as a few other people. And today, early morning, say around 3 o'clock, they were all set. Around 6 o'clock, they started to raid all the officers' residence, as well as the Valmiki Corporation in Bengaluru as well, where they have
suspicion
conducted
is
multiple raids
187
and
crores
they
has been
detained
swindled
the
out of the board.
Absolutely. These are the allegations which was been made by the BJP, as well as Chandrasekhar, who had died, who was a flag bearer for this entire scam, where he has alleged that more than 187 crores were transferred and he was quite reluctant to that, and he doesn't want to get into these kind of scam, and that's when he has written a death note and died by suicide in Shumaga. And after that, this entire scam was taken up by BJP, which has forced the minister in Nagendra to tender his resignation, where the Congress has said that they have formed a special team to investigate this particular case. But meanwhile, the Union Bank of India had approached the CBI, and CBI has also taken up this case. There is a parallel investigation which has been done by SIT as well as CBI, now the ED.
Thanks very much, Sagai. I'm going to come back to you for a lot more news and updates, because Karnataka right now is reeling under criticism of corruption within two of their departments. One is, of course, what we saw, the Valmiki board. The other, the MUDA board. The MUDA, which is the Mysore Urban Development Authority. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah at this point is facing serious allegations of corruption, where there are claims being made that Siddaramaiah tried to swindle government land using his powers and transfer that land in the name of his wife, that he could have forcefully, or rather he could have basically forged documents and used his clout to be compensated with a big piece of land in exchange for agricultural land that his family owned around Mysuru. Opposition now demanding a CBI probe on Siddaramaiah and his family, claiming that he's a chief minister. So state-run authorities will fail to really pull up the actual dirt. Therefore, the case must be handed over to the CBI. I'm going to take you through details in this report. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has been accused of forging documents to obtain government land worth crores of rupees. Complaint has been filed against Siddaramaiah and 9 others for illegally obtaining land compensation from the Mysuru Urban Development Authority, MUDA as it's called, on his wife Parvati's name despite not being eligible. The complainant, social activist Sneha Mai Krishna, claims MUDA officials and the Mysuru district collector were all complicit in the land allotment scam, which allegedly caused losses of more than 1,000 crore rupees to MUDA and the Karnataka government. BJP claims the scam is to the tune of 3,800 crores and corners the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, saying if he's really honest, he must hand over the probe to the CBI.
The CBI is the appropriate forum where this has to be investigated. Because with the state investigation team, there cannot be a fair investigation, because when Chief Minister family itself is involved, when scam worth more than 4,000 crores has taken place under the present government, we can't expect a fair investigation. Hence, Bharatiya Janata Party demands CBI investigation.
The case revolves around agricultural land of 1,48,000 square feet in Kesaru village outside Mysuru city, bought by Siddaramaiah's family in 2010. The land was later taken over by MUDA for development, and in compensation, Siddaramaiah's wife was allotted 38,000 square feet land within Mysuru city at prime location in Vijayanagara. The land in Vijayanagara is valued much higher than the agricultural land. Interestingly, all of this happened under the BJP regime in 2021. Siddaramaiah has defended himself, saying all documents were provided as per request and allotted to his wife by the previous BJP government.
ನಾವು 3 ಎಕರೆ 16 ಗುಂಟೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ಅವರು ಆಕ್ರಮಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಹಂಚ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಕಂಪನ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ, ಸೈಟ್ ವಾಪಸ್ ಆಗೋದು. 3 ಎಕರೆ 16 ಗುಂಟೆಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಂಪನ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅದು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ. 60 ಕೋಟಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ. ಯಾರು ಅಧಿಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ.
Many senior officers of MUDA now have been transferred. Karnataka Chief Minister has himself ordered an inquiry into the case. An inquiry committee has been set up, appointing 2 IAS officers to probe allegations of illegal plot allotment by MUDA. With Sagai Raj and Anaga Keshav, Bureau Report, India Today. All right, let me bring in Anaga Keshav, who's been very closely tracking this story. Anaga, it's brought Siddaramaiah to the spotlight, accusing him of being dishonest. In fact, the BJP claims that Siddaramaiah at that point used his powers to influence MUDA authorities and give him a compensation through a piece of land which was way above what he deserved or his family deserved. Basically, the land that Siddaramaiah's family owned, agricultural land, was bought over by MUDA for development, and in exchange, MUDA gave Siddaramaiah and family a piece of land that was a lot more expensive than the agricultural land that he owned in the outskirts of Mysuru. Siddaramaiah says that it was all done under the BJP regime, so why are you questioning me now? Give us more on this case.
Well, you know, Nabila, as much as the fact that there is a narrative that Siddaramaiah used his power to ensure that his wife got allotted a land in an upscale market, this couldn't have happened without the BJP's permission, because it was in the year 2021 when the BJP was in power and Basavaraj Bommai was the chief minister. That was when the land was allotted to Mr. Siddaramaiah's wife Parvati in an upscale locality like Vijayanagar. And now the BJP is saying that we are going to take this issue up in the upcoming assembly session that's going to begin from July 15th. In fact, this MUDA scam, including the Valmiki scam, is also going to be one of the highest, one of the most important talking points for the BJP in the assembly session, that they are saying that we will pick this issue up. But the Congress government is saying, do everything that you want to do. This was allotted when the BJP was in power. It was under the officials that were in your control. So, if there is any scam that has happened, it has only happened under BJP's leadership, is what Siddaramaiah is also saying. Besides that, the kind of defense that, that Siddaramaiah is giving is that the new land that was allotted to his wife, Parvati, is way lesser in size when compared to her original land that she gave up for development for MUDA.
But Anaga, that said, it does not take away, even if the BJP was in power, it does not take away from the fact that a piece of land was given as compensation to Siddaramaia's family, which was way more expensive than the piece of land that Muda purchased. So this, indiscrepancy is something that that Siddaramaiya at this point will have to justify. But nonetheless, Siddaramaiya says, I've now launched a probe into this matter. They've roped into IAS officers to be leading this inquiry committee into the Muda irregularities. While that happens on one end, the same Siddaramaiya government has also transferred a bunch of officers from the Muda board. Why would that happen? Why would they transfer officers at this point?
Well, that's right, Nabila, including the Commissioner of Muda, Mr. Dinesh, and Additional Secretary Shekhar. They were immediately transferred as soon as the matter came to spotlight. In fact, Minister Bhairathi Suresh, who heads the Urban Development Wing, he was the one who ensured their transfer as soon as this matter came to the spotlight, even in fact raising all the more eyebrows as to why top 2 officers who were directly involved in this scam were transferred. So all these issues are being probed into, and as you mentioned, 2 IAS officers were appointed by Chief Minister Siddaramaiya to ensure that more details come out ahead of Assembly session. In fact, in that media bite he gave today, he mentioned that he has appointed 2 IAS officers just so that the government can be well prepared to answer the opposition BJP in the Assembly session that's going to begin from the 15th. So all the details will be out once the investigation is done by the top 2 IAS officers that's directly appointed by Chief Minister Siddaramaiya to probe the Muda scam.
All right. So it's sad that you have Siddaramaiya, his wife, his family members all being pulled up and criticized of being dishonest and corrupt in this matter. Well, Muda officials also, many of them have moved out. There's also suspicion that a lot of documentation has disappeared from the department. So will they be able to crack down on it through a government-formed committee, or should there be a CBI probe? The BJP in Karnataka demands that the case be transferred to the CBI because, of course, Siddaramaiya at this point is Chief Minister of the state. He could use his influence to derail the investigation. That's what the BJP says, wanting this matter to be handed over to a superior body like the CBI. Thanks very much, Anaga, for joining us on that. All right, shifting our focus to a story that's come in from Telangana. 2 instances of food poisoning that's left several children sick. In a concerning incident, 35 students from a school in Telangana fell ill after consuming breakfast suspected to have been contaminated with a lizard. The students ranging in the age group of 10 to 14 have experienced severe stomachache and vomiting shortly after their meal. In fact, what we see here, preliminary reports suggest that a lizard might have accidentally fallen into the food during preparation. Health officials have also taken samples for analysis to confirm the cause of the contamination. Several girls there are said to be hospitalized. Now, if we could take you through images of another case that's come in from Telangana itself. Students of a college in Sangareddy were in for quite a shock after they saw a rat in a chutney at the school campus in Sangareddy district. Those are the visuals that you see there, the rat literally swimming in that curry. It's said that the rat fell into the chutney pot because it was not covered. So clearly we are looking at lapses in safe cooking conditions. And especially when it comes to educational institutions, they've got to be super careful. It's very unfortunate that this is the laxity there, where a rat, a lizard is falling into food, really resulting in contamination, food poisoning. This kind of unhygienic, unsanitary conditions must be questioned. Apurva joining us for more on that. Apurva, what is up with Telangana hostels and these places where students are studying? They're given their meals, they bank and rely on the institution to provide them with their 3 meals. And this is the kind of food that's being provided, laced with a lizard or a rat. It's shocking.
Well, that's right, Nabila. In fact, these are two separate incidents that took place in separate districts. There, one in Medak district, one in Sangareddy district. Several students, in fact, unfortunately in Medak, had fallen sick after what seems to be that a lizard was found in the food in which that was cooked and served to these children. That's what preliminary, investigation has also revealed. That we are seeing on one side. On the other side, we're seeing how the JNTUH campus there in Sangareddy that saw a rat there swimming in a barrel full of chutney. That's the video there that's in fact been going viral. In fact, the health officials have also taken cognizance of this incident and have, a separate investigation has been looked into in both of these instances as well. Because remember, this is not the first incident where we are seeing food poisoning to have taken place in educational institutions there, especially when food is being prepared in mass for people in large numbers in educational institutions. So this is the kind of a stance that the Telangana government has taken. In fact, an inquiry has also been set into this to see as to what happened, what went wrong. In Sangareddy, what we are getting to know is that the rat fell into the pot of chutney when it was left uncovered, and that was discovered by the hostel students there who had come in early in the morning to go and get their first meal of the day, that is their breakfast. And on the other side, we're seeing how closely over 35 children, in fact, had been infected by food that had been cooked.
Apurva, it's the responsibility of the state government to carry out inspection. They must ensure that these hostels, schools, colleges follow a certain method and safe conditions of preparing their meals, especially when it involves children. We're wondering what the departments of education are really doing. We're hoping for a crackdown. At least this case here that's come to light today of multiple children falling ill should really serve as an alarm and a warning. Thanks very much, Apurva, for joining us on that. Mumbai's killer brat faces the law, sent to 6-day police custody. 24-year-old Mihir Shah has admitted to indeed driving the car during the time of crash. Mihir has revealed that he got scared after he crashed into Pradeep and Kaveri and dragged Kaveri's body, which was on top of his bonnet, for nearly 1.5 kilometers before he actually dumped her on the road, drove over her and fled from the scene. His driver eventually took to the wheels and carried out that last deed. In fact, entire family of Mihir Shah has helped him escape and stay in hiding for 3 whole days. Mihir's father, Rajesh Shah, has been shunned and ousted from the Shiv Sena. Taking you through this report and a lot more revelations in the Mumbai hit and run.
More revelations in the Mumbai hit and run case. Sources tell India Today the accused Mihir Shah has admitted that he was driving the BMW when it rammed Pradeep and Kaveri Nakwa's two-wheeler early on Sunday morning. Mihir has revealed that he got scared after he dragged Kaveri on the car bonnet for about 1.5 kilometers. After the incident that killed Kaveri, Mihir went to his girlfriend's house and even tried hiding his identity by shaving his beard to escape the police who were searching for him. After India Today's relentless coverage, Mihir was caught after being on the run for 60 hours. Meanwhile, the Brihanmumbai Municipal Corporation sent a bulldozer to the Juhu bar where Mihir and his friends were partying. The BMC claims illegal structures at the bar were demolished. The crackdown comes a day after the bar was sealed for allegedly serving liquor to underage customers. Maharashtra's ruling party, the Shinde Sena, has sacked Mihir Shah's father, Rajesh Shah, from the party after facing relentless political heat over the case. Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena has accused the ruling party of shielding the accused. Aditya Thackeray visited the victim's family on Wednesday.
This is not just a hit and run. This is not just an accident. This is a murder. Day one, we kept our political decency and we said we will not like to politicize this case. But the fact is, if the accused was allowed to run away and hide for 60 hours, now you start thinking whether there was any politics in this, whether there was any political patronage in this. The bulldozer justice that is meted out to people here and there, on slums, on other people, I would want to see that bulldozer justice happening in this case.
उनको बसाने की कोशिश पहले दिन से चल रही, क्योंकि बेटे का जो बाप है वो इतना शिंदे वाली शिवसेना का नेता है और बहुत ही रसूखदार आदमी है, पैसे वाला आदमी है। नशे में बार बार कुचल दिया, सड़क पर फेंक कर वापस कुचल दिया। आप देखिए वीडियो, ये तो बहुत ही अमानुष प्रकार है और ऐसी व्यक्ति कभी जेल से छूटनी नहीं चाहिए।
Meanwhile, Chief Minister Shinde has accused the opposition of politicizing the tragic incident.
अपोजिशन हमेशा आरोप करते रहे, उनके पास आरोप के सिवा दूसरा कोई काम है? हम लोग कंस्ट्रक्टिव काम कर रहे हैं, हम प्रैक्टिकल काम कर रहे हैं। हिट एंड रन में जो दोषी है, जो गुनाहगार है, उनको बिल्कुल बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, उनके ऊपर कड़ी कार्रवाई हो जाएगी।
Kaveri Nakhwa's family is demanding swift justice. With Dipesh Tripathi and Saurabh Bhaktania in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, that's it for me here. You could log on to indiatoday.in. You could also download our app for a lot more news and updates. Stay with us.